What if the biggest lie in finance is that you need tons of money to build wealth? For years, we've been told you need a six-figure salary or a lucky stock pick to get rich. But what if the real secret to financial freedom wasn't a secret at all? What if it was just a simple, almost boring habit? A habit that costs about $100. This is the story of how a small, consistent action can unleash the most powerful force in the financial universe. Imagine you plant a tiny seed. It looks like nothing, but you water it. You give it time, and one day, a small sprout appears. That sprout is your first $100 investment. In a world obsessed with overnight success, $100 feels like nothing. It's a nice dinner, a new pair of shoes, a few streaming subscriptions. It's here today, gone tomorrow. But what if it didn't vanish? What if you planted it instead? This is where the magic starts. It's a force so powerful, Albert Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world. It's compound interest. Simply put, it's your money making money. And then that new money starts making its own money. It's a snowball effect. It's slow and almost unnoticeable at first, but with time, it becomes an unstoppable avalanche of wealth. Let's make this real. Say you start investing just $100 every single month. You put it into a simple, broad market investment like an S&P 500 index fund, which has historically returned an average of about 10% annually. After 10 years, you've put in $12,000. But your account isn't worth $12,000. Thanks to compounding, it would be worth nearly $20,000. That's almost $8,000 of free money your money earned for you. Not bad, but this is a long game. Let's keep it rolling after 20 years. You've invested $24,000 your account. It's now worth over $76,000. The growth is starting to pick up serious steam. Now for the truly mind-blowing part. After 30 years, you've invested a total of $36,000. Your account would be worth over $226,000. The money your money made is now dwarfing what you actually put in. And if you stick with this simple $100 habit for 40 years, your total contribution of $48,000 could explode into over $630,000. Let that sink in for a second. A habit that costs less than a daily fancy coffee could build you a fortune of over $500,000. This isn't about being a financial genius. It's about consistency and time. The hardest part isn't picking the perfect stock. It's just starting the habit. Okay, before you rush off to open an investment account, we need to build a solid foundation. You wouldn't build a skyscraper on a swamp, right? So, there are two things you absolutely have to do first. First, build an emergency fund. Life is wildly unpredictable. Cars break down, people lose jobs, and medical bills show up. Without a cash cushion, any one of those things could force you into debt, or even worse, make you sell your investments at the worst possible time. Second, aggressively pay off high-interest debt. I'm talking about credit card debt, payday loans, anything with a killer interest rate. As of early 2026, average credit card interest rates are hovering at a staggering 21-23%. No investment on earth can reliably guarantee you a 23% return. So paying off a credit card with that rate is like getting a guaranteed 23% return on your money. Think of it this way. Trying to invest while drowning in high-interest debt is like trying to run up a down escalator. So kill the debt, build the emergency fund, and then you're ready to start building real, lasting wealth. Alright, foundation's built. You're ready to start the $100 habit now for the how, and trust me, this is way simpler than people think. Step 1. Choose your basket. The biggest mistake beginners make is thinking they need to be a stock-picking guru. They get paralyzed by trying to find the next big thing. Forget all that. We're not trying to beat the market, we're going to be the market. We do this with something called a low-cost index fund, or an ETF. Exchange traded fund. Think of it as a pre-made variety pack of stocks. Instead of buying one company, you're buying a tiny piece of hundreds of them all at once. The best and most recommended starter pack for most people is an S&P 500 index fund. This one fund holds stock in 500 of the biggest, most successful companies in the US. You're not betting on one horse, you're betting on the whole race. The legendary investor Warren Buffett famously won a $1 million bet that a simple S&P 500 index fund would crush a hand-picked portfolio of hedge funds over a decade. ETFs like VU, IV, or index funds like SERUPPX are all fantastic, low-cost options that do this. Their fees are incredibly low, often just a few dollars a year for every $10,000 you invest. Step 2. Choose your store. Now that you know what you're buying, you need a place to buy it. This is your brokerage account, and opening one is as easy as opening a bank account. Firms like Vanguard, Fidelity, and Charles Schwab are great, beginner-friendly options. You'll see a few account types, but for beginners, it's usually between a standard brokerage account and a Roth IRA. A Roth IRA is a retirement account with amazing tax benefits. You put in money you've already paid taxes on, and when you take it out in retirement, it's 100% tax-free. If retirement is your long-term goal, a Roth IRA is a brilliant place to start. Step 3. Put it on autopilot. This is the most important step. This is the secret ingredient that makes the $100 habit stick. You have to automate it. Every single brokerage lets you set up automatic transfers from your bank and automatic investments into your fund. Set it up to pull $100 every month or even $25 a week right after you get paid. Why is this so important? Because it takes your two worst enemies out of the equation: emotion and forgetfulness. When the money invests itself, you don't have to think about it. You're not tempted to time the market, and you're not tempted to spend that $100 on something else. You are building the habit without ever relying on willpower. Automation makes consistency effortless. I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds good, but what happens if I invest and the market crashes? What if I lose everything? That fear is real, and it's the number one thing that keeps people on the sidelines. The pain of losing money feels twice as bad as the pleasure of gaining it. And yes, markets go down. They always have, and they always will. Big drops will happen. But here's the cool part about your automated $100 habit. It turns market crashes into your friend. The strategy is called dollar cost averaging. When you invest the same amount of money every month, your $100 automatically buys more shares when the market is down and prices are cheap. When the market is high, that same $100 buys fewer shares. Over time, this actually lowers your average cost per share. Think of it like this. When your favorite store has a 30% off sale, do you run away screaming? No, you rush in to buy things at a discount. A market crash is just a sale on the world's greatest companies. Your automated habit forces you to be brave and buy when everyone else is scared. History is our best guide here. The S&P 500 has survived the dot-com bust, the 2008 financial crisis, and the 2020 pandemic. After every single downturn, it has always recovered and gone on to new all-time highs. The secret is to not panic. The secret is to stay invested and just let your automated plan do its thing. Patience is your superpower. So, you've got the system. But where is that extra 100 or maybe even 150 or $200 come from? It comes from a few simple, old-school money habits. First, live below your means. This is the bedrock of building wealth. It isn't about being cheap. It's about being intentional. It's about avoiding waste. For instance, recent reports show the average American family wastes nearly $2,900 a year on food they buy and never eat. That's more than double our $100 a month goal right there. Second, keep your investments simple. As we've seen, you don't need a complicated portfolio. One S&P 500 fund has been one of the most effective tools. Third, if you don't have the cash to buy something, you can't afford it. This simple rule stops debt from piling up in the first place. Try this. Track your spending for just 1 month. Just watch where the money goes. You'll be shocked. The forgotten subscriptions, the daily coffees, the impulse buys, they are silent wealth killers. Finding your $100 isn't about depriving yourself. It's about choosing your future self over a moment of temporary satisfaction. Imagine yourself in 10, 20, or 30 years. Looking back at today, you see the choice you made. You could have let that $100 disappear on something you don't even remember. Or you could have been the person who planted that seed. The person who, month after month, patiently and consistently watered it. The person who now has a small fortune, not because of some lucky break, but because of a simple, powerful habit they started today, that future isn't a fantasy. It's the direct result of the choice you're making right now. You don't need a finance degree. You don't need a huge income. You don't need anyone's permission. All you need is a plan, a little patience, and a $100 habit. Start today. Open the account. Automate the investment. Plant your seed. And if you want more simple, actionable advice on your journey to financial freedom, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. I want to hear from you in the comments. What's one small money habit that you're proud of? Let's build this together.